All right, traders, welcome back. Live stream for the afternoon session is in order. I left up this limit order that I put in over the lunch session. I typically don't trade the lunch session, but as we were getting off, it looked like it was setting up nicely for some type of for a sell-off for lunch, which it actually did. But unfortunately, it never retraced back into the breaker I had set up with the fair value gap inside, so that never activated. But you can see it did run down. Looks like about 60 points over lunch. So for anyone who caught a short, congratulations on that. I was not fortunate enough to catch a short. It didn't activate my trade, so I'm going to cancel the limit order. It's far away from where I thought I was going to enter. So I just wanted to show that there. But but we're 0 for 1 for the day, so we'll see if we can find another setup this afternoon that get us back break even or even back into the positive. But we'll see what price action brings us and what type of setups we get this afternoon. I'm not going to force it, but we'll see. That retracement we had retraced back to levels we have already been at. I was targeting really just above this 830 low. I thought it might, or the 830 open, I thought it might retrace back to the 830 open, and it went a little further. Looks like it bounced off the Asia high, but the lows are still intact. The New York low, London low, Asia low, and on top of that, the regular trading hour gap low is still here at 597. So we'll keep those targets in mind as we look at where price is going this afternoon. Yep. Yeah, I usually do as well, crypto. But I knew I wasn't going to be here during lunch, so I wasn't going to be able to monitor the trade. So I was looking for a more conservative entry. Um, and even then, when it didn't fill, because I was still watching it up until it was probably down here somewhere, and then I said, okay, well, we'll see if it fills, and so I just left. But when this candle here happened and it didn't fill at the edge of the fair value gap, I thought about you from yesterday when you said you add a few ticks and get in before it gets to the breaker just to make sure you're in. Yes, there technically still is a breaker block, even if it retraces. Still, the only thing is, like I said, is it has already delivered to profit that I thought this move would do. So it may do it a second time. It's just a lower probability than the first go at it. All right, Gavin, Fauci, Marco. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Yep. Yep. So yeah, we lost that one. We'll try to catch it again though. We'll get something else. But what we had, matter of fact, I'll just show you what ended up happening to us and why I tried to get the second entry. Right. So before we had this is our low, and up here was our high. Well, I take that back. Nope. It was here was the high, and this was the low that we was in, and we was just ranging in between that. And so we were bullish. I'm sorry, we were bearish. We were bearish the whole time here until right until we got the macro. Boom, took out the high over here, and so now we were bullish, and that's when I went looking for the bullish setup. But then in the same macro, it broke back down and took out this low, swung us back bearish, and that's when I looked for this entry. But the second one didn't work out for me, or didn't fill. The first one just blew right through it. 604. Okay. Yeah, let me see. Where do I have that marked? Why do I have that marked? Oh, okay. I was just showing. Oh, that's what happened earlier. I was showing someone an example of the 2022 when you get a sweep and then impulse move out that creates a fair value gap to trade out of. So that was just an example of a 2022. I'm going to drop that indicator now. $920 and $940. Let's see. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So before you had these as your highs. So we saw a move down and a trade above all of that. And as soon as we saw the trade above, sharp movement downwards for the opening bell. So yep, essentially it's a same type of scenario. I think maybe the turtle soup is caused by the 930. So as opposed to happening a couple minutes before. But I'm not 100% sure because I don't pay attention to a lot of turtle soups. But this looks like a turtle soup where it ran above and then started trading below. Or sorry, this one, which was the failure swing that I took earlier just before lunch. You know what? Let me move up to, wait a minute. A minute. And it could be, I mean, it's a breaker, but no fair value gap inside. You know what? No, I don't like it. Oh, on ES? Okay. I've even taken a look at ES to see what's going on there. Okay. ES looks very bullish. Nasdaq looks similar, just without all the fair value gap support. Where you go, Dustin? What's up? Crypto, you've had a good week so far. Don't feel like you're missing out. Just go and sit on ES for a few minutes then, since ES seems to be stronger. And Ray has identified this as a trade that he was interested in and a setup that he wanted. Let's just take a peek at what's here. I think he said the 5-minute. Five-point stop. Oh, you went short. You went short. Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. So you took this one. See if we can't refine this a bit. All right, is that you, Dustin? Dustin went short here, so Dustin's in a short for NQ. Yeah, that's huge stop loss there. Let's refine that down on the 1 minute. See where he probably actually took it. All right, that's more like it. So it's already dropped off about 35 points or so. Yep. ES also pushing down. ES is now trading at 49.06. Dollar's a little undecided what it wants to do at the moment. All right, New York low is at 613. Got another 10 points. All right, Vivian, good job. 602. All right. The London low. And then we got the regular trading hour gap at 597. Almost the New York low, not quite. Small volume imbalance right here. Okay, looks like it's 2 ticks. All right, D. Anderson, good job. Crushing it. Okay, volume imbalance being tested now at 636.5. Not quite there, but it was almost there. A couple ticks away. All right, DB, you're in short on 3 contracts. Yep. Well, we did get a rejection out of this fair value gap twice. At the 830 we're looking at here. Nope. It's not. It's just the midpoint of the new day opening gap. Okay, that's what that is. Let's just hop up to the 5 minute. One, two, three rejections. And the volume imbalance held. Hasn't been touched yet. All right, New York low, swept. At 614 flat. I'll remove that out of the way now. Okay, we have our midnight value here. Midnight. Yep. Midnight open coming. Oh, okay. Let's see. Yeah, well, Ray, it's still at the lows of the hour. You're at 49.04. Pretty much trading exactly like NQ. Yep. Yep. But I would say if I'm looking at the 15 minute, I guess the target was that wick low at 8:30, the 8:30 candle wick low, which was also the New York low. That's I think that's where the target was, or at least so far that's where the target was. And now we're starting to see price hang out in here for a minute. Maybe it's going to look for a small retracement and then continue lower, or it may just consolidate for a little bit. But yeah, Ray, you're right. Framing it on the higher time frame definitely helps out quite a bit as far as keeping you out of bad entries or bad setups. A higher time frame is always considered to be stronger. Okay, for those not familiar with the new day opening gap, this yellow highlighted area is the opening price yesterday at 1800 when the markets opened back up. We'll rest here on the 5-minute until we have a reason to drop lower. What does it show in the 1 hour? Let's see. All right, we're getting a retracement from S&P and Nasdaq. We're showing a slight bullish candle on the Dow, and the dollar is selling slightly for the hour. Yep. So not really moving in tandem the way that they should on the indices side, and then also pushing opposite direction of dollars. It's not occurring at this current moment. See if we get a push now down through these levels, and then you get an appropriate retracement after that. Let's see how price delivers. Still early in the candle, so a lot of times you've got to fake out early in the candle. So we'll see. All right, BGFG, 2-minute OTE fair value gap. Okay. Hmm. Hey, JL, congratulations. Don't swing for the fences every time, but good job. Way to go. Let's pop over to the screen here where we're looking at everything together. We have this level that's right for the taking. These equal lows. 615 over on NQ. Looks like we're really close and getting ready to take those. And then once we do, we have another set of equal lows here at 590. JL, do yourself a favor. Log out of your account. You can't take an entry if you're not logged in. Let's jump back over. Yep, I'm with you, Dustin. Same thing to me. I had that one loss just before lunch, and then I didn't get filled over lunch for the downwards push. So I didn't jump in right at 1 o'clock, and now I'm just going to sit on my hands until something else comes. But for now, I'm just going to let it continue to play. I think these three lows are still within reason that it'll come and get those. That would be probably the first day in a while when we've seen all the highs and lows swept. Generally, it leaves one of the lows if it's going to be a bullish day. But since it's down here, I can't imagine it only taking one or two of these and then returning to the upside or starting a consolidation. Okay, retesting the new day opening gap with the midnight open. All right, London is gone. Regular trading hour gap, super close. We just made it to, okay, 17,600 flat. Yeah, we're 3 points away. Let's see what else is out there. Yep, Asia low, and that's about all we got. And then we're talking about previous days low. Yeah, Gavin, it just happened this 5 minute turn. So it's been in the last couple minutes. If you're looking for, would you say 604? Yep. Well, it got really close a few minutes ago, and then it finally did break um, at 135. Okay. See if we're getting some kind of impulsive move here. Doesn't look like it. A lot of wicks here. If it was going to be impulsive and something to pay attention to, there would be fair value gaps. And so far, there's nothing. All right, so we'll go back to the 5 minute. $5.70. Okay. Oh, that must have been that low around 4 o'clock or something. Yep, 4 o'clock low. I'll mark that up too, Brad. Yep, 570, and then we have the previous day low at 552. Mm, 115 candle. Okay. Yeah, on the 1 minute, we have this tiny little volume imbalance. I remember for 2 ticks at 636. So we'll need to break through that first. But it's so small, I can't imagine that really being an obstacle if that's where price wants to go. Let me go down to the 1 minute because it does look like we're getting impulse here. Okay, let's see if this gap remains open. Looking good so far. And this volume imbalance provided very little resistance. Okay, let's see if we can get a closure outside of this area. Still without a closure above. Tried twice already. Traded into the fair value gap above with rejection. We're now looking at potentially a third rejection candle back into the breaker. Rush, I've only taken one trade today. All right, price seems to be playing with our emotions right now. We'll give it a few minutes to settle. Still playing around. You said a 5-minute fair value gap. Let's see where we are. Yeah. This one here. That would have been a sweet, sweet, sweet entry. All right. See if we can get a close above. All right, we did, and I'm in. If it holds. 2 seconds. All right, still another closure above. Macro has now begun. So let's shift this to the back end so we can more easily see the candles. All right, we're getting really close to my stop loss there. Mm, there it is. All right, so my second loss of the day. That'll end my live trading. Everything from here will be demo. So we'll go ahead and make that flip over now. Crypto, I was long. All right, approaching the midnight open again. All right, Dustin. Yeah, not seeing market structure good today. So it's good that I move out of my live account. Here's a regular trading hour gap coming up next at 597. Dollar is booming. Not really. Yeah, but we definitely don't have confluence between the Dow, S&P, and Nasdaq. Right. Regular trading hour gap has been filled. Last session low is the Asia low at 589. And then we're looking at yesterday's prices if we get below that. We have around the close of yesterday at 569 and then the previous day low at 552. Right, there's the Asia low. Yeah, I broke my rule. I took a market structure shift that didn't happen inside of the macro. But it happens. I make similar mistakes as everyone else, and that's why I say don't copy my trades. I'm still a work in progress. Two, three. All right, almost 10 consecutive bearish candles. All right, we're getting close to the PM low from yesterday. Yep. Right, we're just now getting to a hourly bullish fair value gap that was created on Tuesday at 1800. Mm-hmm. All right, so that takes that one out. The only thing remaining is yesterday's low. Oh, I see what's happening now. The previous day low also happens to be the new day opening gap for the 23rd. Yep, dollar is pushing higher. Well, granted, we just started a new hour, but for it just passed those equal highs from 11 and 12 o'clock hour. Yes, Zach, I did see that as well. That daily volume imbalance. I was looking and it looks pretty. I mean, it's sizable. Like it's noticeable even from when the charts aren't that large. Right? It's like from 550 down to around 530. So it's about a 20 point volume imbalance there. Just below this previous day low, all the way until we get to here. I don't think so, Mark. Hmm. Nope, you should be good, Mark. Currently, I don't have anyone on mute or ignore. Let me see. Did I miss one of your questions? Let's see. I sure appreciate your honesty. Okay. Nope. Mark, why did you believe you were on mute or ignore? Were you unable to post a message? Oh, thanks, Vlad. All right, there's a previous day low. Daily volume imbalance is in now. Remove this. Right. So from yesterday's morning low around 6 o'clock through the all-time high, we're now at a 71% retracement. Oh, sorry about that, Mark. Oh, yeah, you say you appreciate my honesty. Yeah. I'm assuming that was given to me. I don't know if that was for someone else. But I take trades in front of you, so you'll see the results of my trades, whether they win or lose. You'll know, and and that's part of being the host is that I get that privilege, if it is a privilege, for everyone to watch my trades. But it is what it is. Mm. Yeah, TJ. I'm still, like I said, and I've been very honest up and upfront. This whole process is that I'm also still learning to be more consistent with my setup and be more consistent with everything in trading. So you guys will see that whole process. You'll see me from where I am now to wherever I end up 6 months from now, a year from now. All right, so a little bit of an impulsive move here. Trying to dig out of the hole it's in. Got right to the center of this volume imbalance. Right, but the same as I'm looking at this and saying, oh, this might support price is exactly the same here when we had the midnight price. We saw it trade down, saw it be supported, impulse out, create a fair value gap, have a breaker, close above the breaker. So many things were working there. Granted, there was a 5-minute CIBI above, not to mention all of these bearish fair value gaps above. But that was the reason for the last entry, even though it wasn't in the time frame that I like for things to happen. That was the rule that I broke, was the time frame. Same here. What I was looking for in the time frame that it was supposed to happen, it didn't happen in that time frame. So even though it's showing itself now, it's not a trade that I can take based on that. Volume imbalance. So if you go to the daily chart, here I'll show you. Okay, go to the daily chart. Oops. Let's take away some. Oops. All right, so volume imbalance is going to be this space right here. You see how on this day the candle closed at 531. This was on Tuesday, and then here we have the next day open at 1800. Well, essentially the same day, kind of. So on Wednesday the open was at 554, and the close was at 31. So there's 20 points in the middle. It's called a volume imbalance, where there's essentially no price action. So that's what that is. You see that the candles don't touch, because what you would expect would be for price to close here, and then the next session opens and either goes up or goes down. But it kind of had a gap there. And then you can see, let me make this larger. And then this was the one that traded down into half of that gap. There's a volume imbalance here as well. And these volume imbalances on the daily, essentially that's what the new day opening gap is. Let's get down to the lower time frames again. $5.68. Okay. Why didn't I take the trade? I didn't take the trade because the shift in market structure, or this is really just a sort of a break of structure. It hasn't shifted. it didn't happen within the time period I needed to happen between 150 and 210. So 210 ended on this candle is when 210 started, but the break happened here at 212. So it was outside of that time frame. And we see now price being stubborn. I do not have an indicator. No, it just at the end of each hour, I'm usually watching the clock, so I know when it's coming up, and that's when I start looking for it. So, okay, all right, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Let's see. Yep, 50 and 10. All right, if this is the silver bullet, let's see where it's going. There's a quick 30-point target, maybe. If it's reaching for higher prices, 600 could be a landing spot for it. Mm. Huge 5-minute city here, though. Big fair value gap, bearish fair value gap. Yep, you're right. The 315 to 345, where it usually will try to chase the midnight open or something in that direction. it sweeps that high, I'll move over to the 5-minute. Right. Session high and lows. Take a note. Check, please. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll take a look at those. NQ and ES are selling. YM buying a little bit, and so is the dollar. Dollar still pushing higher. I'm not sure, Mark. Maybe one of the other subscribers in the room is remembers, or maybe Crypto will jump in and let you know. No, I would say check. I think it was yesterday afternoon, so you might have to pop open yesterday afternoon's video and just kind of fast forward through and see if you can read the chat. Hmm. Nope, don't have. Yeah, I thought I wrote it down. I didn't. I didn't write it down. But yeah, check yesterday afternoon. I think that's when it was. Nope. No, I don't watch volume profiles. Okay, sideways action, higher lows for the most part, except for a slight break here. Okay, so S&P is retracing back up to close in the gap. So immediate rebalance of 2 candles ago on the hourly. And we've not gotten any of that from the Nasdaq, and that's the fair value gap that's above. S&P is pushed back through all of that. So we have that, and Dow is also buying. Nasdaq is just trailing behind, so we're waiting on Nasdaq to catch up. Let's get back over and take a peek at what's happening there. Okay, yesterday at 4 o'clock, so that was that low the Nasdaq swept. We did not get that on S&P, and as you can see on the Dow, we didn't come close. Right, but actually, yep. Yeah, those were swept. That's right. So it was swept on the Dow at 6 o'clock this morning. And that's what we didn't have on Nasdaq. We just got that later this afternoon. And S&P still has not even made it. Still has not even gotten down there yet. Okay. And we're going to slide back up to the 5 minute. So we see a need to move back to lower time frame. Maybe possibly here. But you're right. With if that's not it, then the next closest thing would be this fair value gap. Yes, I have a TradingView indicator called FVG. What is it? Nephew Sam, I think. Yep. FVG Nephew Sam is the fair value gap indicator. Yeah. What do you think about these levels, Ray? The New York AM high on 2 days ago at 525. And then there's a 15-minute busy at 505. All right. Nice little channel developing here. Yep, exactly. So it's 2:40. We have another 20 minutes and we'll see what the last hour delivers. Excuse me. But so far, 2 o'clock has not been very strong. But we did just come off of a pretty big meltdown from lunch, right? If you look from 12 o'clock, basically a 200 point move down, um, which in a lot of cases, 200 points to maybe 250 points is about a daily range. So it looks like we may have run that daily range, and that's why we're seeing price stutter now. But that could still bring us something in the power hour. But as of right now, price is just consolidating and probably just collecting orders. Do we have anyone still in a short? Mm, 93. All right. Hmm. All right. Let's go down to the 1 and the 2 minute and just see if it's a little cleaner to where we can see what's actually going on with price. Okay. So you got out of yesterday's low. All right. So you're out. I guess no one else spoke up. So I guess nobody else is still in. Fauci, a SIBI is just a bearish fair value gap. It's an ICT term, but it's a bearish fair value gap. So all of these pink fair value gaps you see here are SIBIs. And then the opposite, the buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, abyssy. Yeah, I know. I was looking. I mean, the point you mentioned earlier about 600 seems like it could be a good location for that to occur. Although 600 seems pretty far away based on this price action. And then I was looking here and I was like, okay, so the three drives. So we have one, we have two, and I guess we're going to get a third one and then we'll get a drop. So maybe it will reach up here and then we'll see it come down. Okay. All right. Hey, break even's not bad. Yep. Yeah. It's had a, I mean, this is a 2 minute, but it was a fair value gap here. They got closed in. Then there was a bullish fair value gap here. They got closed in. So yeah, it's not leaving anything on the table for any bullish momentum. And most of the movements up come with big down wicks, which don't allow a lot of fair value gaps. So you're right. So it's not informing us that price is willing to go higher. Not really, Machiavelli. No, I don't look at it in those firms. I know ICT teaches that about the 20, 40, 60 look back, which essentially is 1, 2, and 3 months worth of trading. So no, I haven't been looking back at that for key levels. Yep, no problem, Fauci. Any questions you got, just throw them out there. Yep. So Frank, displacement are these kind of candles, these big candles that leave behind these shaded gaps here, fair value gap, right? So you saw price building up, it got to this part, and then it came down with big candles. It didn't do like this right here is doing a little stair step. So it's not really displacement. This right here, within two candles, it covered what these 8 or 9 candles did. Yep, it definitely equals speed. So we almost had it with this candle here, but there was no follow up. We had one candle, and what we'd have needed was a second or third candle to do the same thing, and we didn't get that. It came back down, retraced, covered up that whole zone. This candle looked like it was going to do something, came all the way back down, retraced back. And then over here, no displacement, retraced back to the origin. So we just didn't, this whole price area here is not delivering any displacement, but we did get displacement from these highs. Let's go back to the 5-minute. Frank, if you want to go long, you'd be looking for displacement to happen at a swing low. So the swing low is categorized by a low with a higher low to both sides. So this swing low, you would want to see energy and speed building out of this position, similar to the way this built coming down. So that's why you'd be looking for a short with this kind of setup. It left these fair value gaps that now, if you retrace back into them, these become optimal areas to look for a short. In a macro time, so you'll be looking for a market structure shift to occur during the macro time period, and then you look for displacement. Either displacement caused the shift, or immediately after the shift, or the break of structure, you want to see displacement after that. Okay, all right, Machiavelli. But yeah, right now, I mean, if you look at this, you don't want to trade this. Right, I'll go back down to the lower time frame. We are at the end of the hour, starting here. Brad's looking for a long. Now let's just wait and see what price gives us. We're inside the macro period now. We have less than 10 minutes. We'll be in the power hour, so let's not force it. But it does look like it might be picking up a little momentum, which is good. I mean, as we look at it, it really doesn't matter which direction it goes as long as there's volatility, because then you can find a setup. All right, Ray, we're starting to inch closer to 600. 562. Yep. Yeah, not since about 20 minutes ago. It hasn't returned back. All right, let's go to the lower time frame again. Um, Not necessarily, Frank. We want to wait and see how price continues to print, because we had the same over here. We had these highs where we saw price break above. It ran into an area that it was looking for, and then it just melted down. So we do want to be careful, especially since we've been seeing sales all day. We are at the end of the day, so we could see pullbacks, but yeah, I'm still waiting. Still waiting. We're not there yet. All right, top of the fair value gap is also the midnight open. See if it closes above that line. You have 2 minutes to do it. Mhm. Oops. All right, so we did get that closure above. It closed right at the midnight open. All right, back down to lower time frame. If I was long here, oh, you mean all the way down here? No, not exactly. Let's see. If I was long here, right, there was nowhere to enter until this green box here. So being long here at the start of this green, right, it's created by this candle right here. This is the candle that created that box because the displacement is here. So you go to the candle to the left and drop down to the lower extremity, and that's where your stop loss would go. Your stop loss would be right here for this fair value gap, the top one. But remember, we have some down here, so price could retrace into those areas. Like if it retrace into this one, then your trade is over because your stop loss is here. So generally, when I see a move like this where there's 4 stop losses, I look and see whether price could return all the way to the lower one. And if it can, then I look and see if there's a chance for me to get an entry at one of the above ones, put my stop still below the bottom fair value gap, but allow myself to have an entry, because what if it doesn't retrace down here? At least I can get into the trade. So that's always the balance, is how much risk are you willing to accept to guarantee that you're in the trade. But that's how I would do it. So I would get in at the very top of the fair value gap, and then I would go to the candle to the left and put a stop loss below. Oh, and then Frank, based on that, I do a risk reward of 1 to 2. So this would have to extend to right here. So the stop would be 10.75 points, and the target would be 21 and a half. Yep, Frank, make sure you're trading in demo until you feel comfortable. Do not try to make money while you're still uncomfortable being in the trade. It's just not going to be a good situation for you. It's going to wreck your nerves. So just stay in demo until you feel comfortable with the trade setups that you take, until you start seeing success on a regular basis and you understand a little bit how price action works. All right, Golden. I will take a position if I find one, but I did lose a position earlier. Well, lose a trade earlier. Actually, 2 of them. And so I told myself that I was going to stay out and stay on the sidelines until tomorrow. And so I switched over to demo. So I may still take a trade. It's just not in my live account, but we'll see. Right now, everything's looking bullish, but we haven't finished the macro from 250 to 310. So we're still waiting for that macro to complete. Looking to see what market structure looks like at that point, and then we'll go from there. But all afternoon, I mean, price moved down 200 points already. So I don't know if it's going to go any further. I don't even know if it's going to go back up because that's quite a range for an afternoon. Um, but we'll see what price gives us. I mean, we'll just take what the market gives us, and we'll be patient. Yep. All right, Frank, if you have, yeah, so it sounds like you already have money in an account already. So yeah, definitely switch over to the demo portion of that Berker account that you have and try to just take some demo trades and until you feel more comfortable. Mm. Yeah, I broke my rules on one and then the other just was a losing trade. And so I figure while price is doing what it's doing and I'm, not actively on the right side of the market, it's not worth risking more. And also, I don't want to develop any bad habits. I don't want to revenge trade trying to make sure that I end up positive today. That's not the point. If I'm not seeing the market well, the likelihood is I'm just going to take another loss. And so it's better to sit on the sidelines until tomorrow. But I do have my demo account ready, and if I see a setup that I like, I'll go for it. Yeah, that's what I did. So the first trade, I think I had two contracts and a total loss of 600, and then the second trade was a lower risk. It was only like a $200 stop loss. So I'm down 800 for the day on those two trades. Okay, another high there. Let's see if this trade delivers the 1 to 2. Well, not a trade, but I'm sorry, this setup. Let's see if this setup delivers a 1 to 2. Frank, I believe you asked about displacement. So now you see what displacement looks like as opposed to when it's doing this and it's a lot of wicks and then retracement up, retracement up, retracement. This is displacement. Okay, 310 it is. All right, it's looking for a on the midnight open. Looking to see if we can get a rejection from that level to continue pushing upwards. Yep, looks like we're going to get it. All right, I know this trade is sort of stalling its progress now, but it's already at a 1-to-1. If you're in that trade, you want to consider protecting yourself or taking a partial or something. And as I say that, it's pushing higher. Just keep in mind, we've rejected this bearish fair value gap 4 times, 5 times already. Yeah. No. You don't. Yeah, you don't get in while it's running. It is chasing. You're right. But that's why you look for a retracement. And in this case, it was just this first fair value gap, and then it continued on its way. Normally, you wait for a deeper retracement, so you'd be looking for at least 50%, right? So you would have hoped for price to get to here, which then mean this would have been your entry at this fair value gap. And then you would have wanted to make sure your stop loss was capable of absorbing some type of play into this fair value gap, because that was possible, or you would just wait and wait until it traded to the lower one, and then you would enter below 61%. That's typically what you would do on a long. It's just this one was already moving upwards, so that's why I just wanted to see what that setup looked like. But as price was running up, you're right, you wouldn't have just jumped in because you saw the top fair value gap created. So let me adjust this range now that it's made it all the way up here. So now we see 50% is at the top of this fair value gap now because it continued to go higher. Let me move this over. Right, so we keep adjusting and we wait for price to go below 50%. And if it doesn't, and it turns around and puts up a higher price, then we just let it leave without us and we wave at it, and we look for the next setup. Oh man, congratulations. Pass your 150K account. Excellent, excellent. Good job. Hmm. All right, so this one didn't quite deliver 1 to 2. I mean, it hasn't stopped us out yet, but it's not looking great. It already. Get up on a higher time frame and just take a look at price action. All right, here we go on the 5 minute. 50% is right here. Yeah, it's too large. Much too large. Not necessarily that we're not looking for longs. It's just we weren't looking for longs in the location it was in. Yeah, well, Rush, like I mentioned, I've already taken 2 losses already. But yes, I am generally a patient trader. And that's something I learned over the years by losing trades. That you can't take every setup that looks decent. You got to take the ones that you like and the ones that you've practiced. Oh, okay. 80% off the 1 day funded. Okay, awesome. I'm RVJ. I am not in a trade right now. I am not. All right. Oftentimes between 315 and 345, price runs for the midnight open, which it has already accomplished. It's right here. So we're already there. So for this macro, price can go for it's a higher target or a lower target. It can do anything. And those odds are not good. I don't like it when that's the way price is structured. Yep, this fair value gap right here. Let's see how price reacts here. Do we get it pushing above and a closure? Or is it just going to push above and then close back down in it? Correct. Yesterday's daily high, which was 790 something. You're right. That has not been hit. Okay, so we did get a closure above, which is good. And who is that? Frank. All right, Frank. Remember we talked about at least 50%? It came exactly 50% to the tick. But that's the most aggressive long that you can take. So you don't want to take a long that hasn't retraced 50%, but the most aggressive one is at 50%, 61, less aggressive, and down the line. All right, we got a sweep of the high here and then immediate rejection back below the midnight open and a closure below. Let me just line this trade up to see if it delivered a 1 to 2. Oh yeah, okay. Yep. So remember, Frank, so we would have taken, so that this is the fair value gap. If you had taken this trade, remember this would be the candle that made it, and then this would be your stop loss, the one to the left. So it would have been 8 points. So on a mini contract, that's $160, $20 per point. You would have went for a double, a 1 to 2, which would have delivered 16 points or $300, 320. You could have also targeted the previous high that was already there, this one here. And that would have given you nearly a 1 to 3 trade and would have delivered 23 points. Okay. Yeah, Tomo will get you to practice more, so you can identify them and not miss out. But no, it's okay. It's okay, Frank. What's important is that you start to recognize which ones are winners and why, and then you'll start to understand how they form, and you'll start to recognize them a little easier, which would then make it easier to take. But definitely give yourself some time and wait until you've put in the time and the work to being good at this. I don't think it's looking to move to yesterday's high right now. If that's the case, RVJ, that might happen tomorrow. I mean, we still have one more day for trading this week, so it could potentially push in that direction. Um, I'll wait until Asia and London print some candles tonight before making that call. So tomorrow morning I'll take a look and see what I think price is going to do. But as of right now, I think we're pretty far away. I wouldn't say that's where we're going. Yep, there's a couple things we need to break through first. First, we need to break through this level at 609. This is the midnight open, right? So price started here at midnight, traded above, did its thing until New York, traded below, and now we're kind of stuck. We haven't traded above it, and when we do, it fails, and we immediately uh, trade back below. So price needs to move above here and be sustained, and then also this yellow area is the gap that formed at the close of yesterday, and then the reopen at 1800. So that gap also we're below. Until we can get above these two items and close above, then yeah, we're definitely not looking for higher prices, especially not yesterday's high. But anything's possible. I've seen some really energetic moves, and you're only talking about, well, you're talking about 200 points. So 200 points in this amount of time is going to be difficult. But I've seen 50 to 75 points happen during this 3 o'clock hour. Okay, no problem. Hmm. Thank you, RVJ. Appreciate you. Yes, everyone in the room, if you could hit the like button, please, that would help out quite a bit. YouTube is monitoring that, and they use that to rank me against other channels, and that's how they recommend me to others looking for trading or looking for anything related to the subject. All right, this is something you want to pay attention to and make sure you don't get caught in it. We see prices starting to create a funnel of some kind, starting to expand like this. Yep, so we go here, go with a new high. Whoops. Let's try that again. All right, low, high, lower low, higher high, lower low. Let's see if we run up here as well. When price does this, you want to make sure that you're not in too long. If you get in for a long down in this area, you don't want to be holding too far up here because you can anticipate price coming back. Five oh 4.5. Okay. Standing deviation because we closed it too. So 4 is next. All right. All right, Rush. We've all done it. Don't worry about that. Just regroup, refocus your mind, forget about today. If I were you, I'd go back to the charts just to do a quick review, just to try to put my confidence back where it needs to be, and just get ready for another day. All right, Natalie. Sorry about that. I just had to translate this message coming from Natalie. She's actually from the Ukraine, and she was thanking me for the stream, and saying that she didn't pass her evaluation and currently can't afford to re up. But she's thankful for the streams and will continue to watch. But for now, can't try another evaluation. But okay. All right, Natalie. Take care. It's good having you in the channel. Hopefully you'll return. Yes, laughter. That is absolutely true. On a 50,000 account, one contract is the max, and that's on minis. If you want to do multiple contracts, definitely slide down to the micros. Um, yep. Hmm. Where's that drawing I had? There it is. Let's see if it continues to run or if it turns around. It's good to see it trade above and close above here. Now let's see if it trades above this yellow area and close. Yeah, that 1K drawdown on one day. Yep, it'll stop you. But that's good because then at least you protected the rest of it, and you can trade again another day. But yeah, today was clean and clear for some people. It just didn't work out for me, and it looks like a few others as well. But we'll come back tomorrow. We still have another day this week. We'll try to finish the week out positive, heading into next week. I know one thing ICT always talks about is that in February is when price action starts to really loosen up and become more predictable. So the future is still bright. I'm looking forward to it. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, we've had a pretty solid January. You should be able to click on the Discord and it works for you. I don't know what's going on, Frank. Oh, it's free. It's a free Discord. It doesn't cost anything. I should have just added you in. Let's see. No, I'm not simulcasting anything in Discord, so it's all on YouTube. Discord just is a supplement to the community here, for us to go and just exchange ideas and have a different communication format. But that's it. But no, I'm only broadcasting on YouTube. Oh, you also couldn't join. Okay, well, let me definitely check that because that's weird. It shouldn't be like that. All right, Martin, take care. Hmm. All right, try that link and see if it works. Oh, that's probably what happened. I see now. I think I see what's happening. When I went and got the invite link before, there was an option that says it expires in 7 days unless you click a box, and so the previous link probably expired. So I'll need to change that. But try this new link, see if that works, and if that does work, I will change it on all the descriptions of the videos, um, and and we can go from there. Yeah, so this was the first week that I went and I put in my weekly outlook. Let me see if I can't pull this over so you guys can see it. All right, well, price is not really doing very much. Let me be quick with this. Oops. All right, so this is, I threw this on the Discord, and I'm not sure if you guys can read this or not, but this is what I had this weekend as far as what I was looking for price to do this week. Um, I was looking forward to take out the two buy sides all the way up to 17,700, which it did. Um, yep. Then I was like, look at how dollar reacts as it moves into weekly premium levels. So I knew the dollar was going to be pushing higher as well. And one of them was going to hit their target and move the other way while the other was going to continue. And so then I wanted to say, be careful after the final buy side target is hit to ensure higher prices are also being targeted. And the dollar is moving towards lower targets. So I really should have reviewed this before I tried trading today, because my own notes from the weekend was telling me what my strategy should be and how I should be approaching the market. And I should have been looking for the dollar to be moving lower if I was going to attempt a long. But I actually attempted a long earlier with the dollar still moving upwards. So I didn't even follow my own strategy that I put together this weekend as to how I was going to approach the market this week. So that's something that I need to continue to get better at, is to look at my long view and make sure that my daily activities support that, or look at my long view and see if that long view is now changed. Yep. But if you go into Discord, you'll see that inside of each of the different indices as well as the dollar. This was the first week I did it. So I'll just continue that on. Usually I mark up my charts on Sunday morning. But I may start doing it on Saturday, but you can expect on the weekend, if you go into there, you'll see what my outlook for the week will be. Here we are, still expanding. Sure. Yeah, I can do a live on the weekend. That's not a problem. Sure, absolutely. Yep. Frank, these are my settings. So I only select chart. So therefore, whenever I'm bouncing around from chart to chart, it only shows the fair value gaps for that time period. Um, but earlier I was looking like I wanted the 1 hour to show on every time period, no matter where I flipped around. I wanted to always see that 1 hour fair value gap. So if that was the case, you would have to select that, and then it would always appear on every time. But if you don't do that and you only select the first one, then it will only show if you're on the 1 minute, it'll have 1 minute fair value gaps. If you're on the 30 minutes, it's on the 30-minute fair value gaps. So I have that one. Delete boxes after fill. So that means like if this is a bullish fair value gap, when it trades below and close below, then this will disappear by selecting this box. Um, yep, and that's it. I think length of the box 100 is the maximum, so that's how long you'll actually see that box sit there. So if the fair value gap never gets filled and it's 2 weeks later, you're not going to see it because it's going to max out by how many boxes it shows. The only way you'll see it is if you go back to the last time price was in that range, and then you'll see the fair value gap there, and you're going to have to draw it manually at that point. But otherwise, yeah, it's pretty much the standard options. Oh, yes. Well, I found the pattern. The way I found it is because I'm always looking for when price structure shifts. And so I noticed, so we swept this high, then we swept this low, right? Then we swept this high, then we swept this low, and it just kept going. So I was like, okay, all right. I see where we're going here. A good thing that macro's done. We have 3 minutes left, and then we'll be at the 350 macro, which is the one we all love. All right, let's go ahead and drop. And yeah, we'll leave that there for now. Here you go, more rice. Take it. 17 points. It's a good trade. 17 points is always a good trade. All right, RVJ, take care, man. See you next time. Okay, there we go. 350 is here. Okay, let's see how price responds if it breaks through 629. Not quite, not yet. We're still waiting to see what's going on with price here. I want to see if it breaks through 629 and what does it do after that. Now I put this long tool here because of this fair value gap that it traded into and then impulsed out. So just in case it runs to some sort of target, I just want to see a 1 to 2 trade from this location would finish up here. So that's what this long tool is here for. But we are in that final 350 to 410 macro, and so I just want to see if there's an entry. But while we're waiting, if anyone has any further questions that you haven't asked already, go ahead and put it in the chat. We got about 10 minutes left in today's session, so just want to make sure that we cover everyone's questions before we get off today. Yep, but definitely have a set of rules. So if you have a question, go ahead and ask. Fine. Not to mention I'm in demo, so I'm out of live trading today. Yeah, it could have been. I wanted to see if it broke this high right here, which is why I was looking at 629. But it's fine if it wants to come lower. That's okay. If it wants to come lower, then I want to see it come down to 590. So that's another 20 points down. Which also means it's going to lose this midnight open level, this dash purple line right here at 610. It's going to lose that level. All right, Mark. Good job. Robert, not for me, not today. Nope. I had a winner yesterday, but not today. Nope. I lost both of my trades today. No, I'm not familiar with being X. I don't. For self-funded, a good U.S. broker, I'm not really familiar with any that I have experience with that I could recommend to you. So I'm not familiar. But I would say I like trading from TradingView, so I would try to stick with a broker that has, if you like TradingView or if that's the trading platform you're using, find a broker that is integrated into TradingView. Mark, just for kicks, any reason why you don't want to use a prop firm? All right, so far we have held this midnight open has held price the last two candles. Still never took out this high. Shift this over to 410, which is the end of this time period. Topstep is the broker. Okay. Okay, Mark. Interesting perspective, but accurate one. All right, Baron, to hold on. Hold on for another day. All right, so these are our two ranges. Midnight open splitting the two ranges perfectly, it looks like. Maybe my eyes are bad. I'll be darned if the midnight open is not sitting on 50% of this range. Can't make this stuff up. So in that case, let's look and measure this. That means we retrace down to 71%. Almost hit the high. Retrace back to 50 to give a second entry to anyone who wanted on this side in discount, just barely in discount, to then run this high. And deliver the 1 to 2. See if it can get to 635. Cupertino, yes, I am. We're in the macro period now, but I'm not really talking about a macro. I'm just talking about this price leg. So this is our most recent high. That high was formed from this low down here. So I measured that distance. And the midnight open is this dashed line in the center, which split it perfectly, is right at 50%. Yes, I'm on the 1 minute chart. No, not exactly. Not exactly. This trade, if someone was in this trade, they entered this trade over here at like 340 something. Since the macro started at 350, there has not been an entry. There's not been an entry except for anybody who wanted to take this dip below the midnight open and use the midnight open as support. Outside of that, there's not been an entry in the last 10 minutes. Going good, man. Yeah, it has been a long time. Where you been? Things are going really well until today. Liquidity sits right here at 628. 628 is where liquidity is sitting. And above that, I'm looking for equal highs somewhere. These are relative equal, but not really. All right, so we did take out that high. So make sure it's already delivered a 1-to-1. So anyone in this trade, make sure you're protecting yourself. There's a fair value gap right here from 622 down to 620. Just make sure price doesn't come back and take you out of your trade. All right, there's the 1-to-2 delivered. So during the macro period, what we're looking for is a change in structure, and we didn't get a change in structure. It was already bullish since down here at around 324. It went up, took out this high, made a new high. We had a retracement, but it didn't turn into a bearish price structure. It was still bullish. We almost broke that high, retraced some more, and then finally broke it. During the macro period, I would have been looking for what I was hoping for actually was it to do this. Let's see, 350, we were right here. So I was hoping it would do this, break the high, then come down and sweep this low. Because once creating a new high, this low then became a low to break structure. So sweeping this low would have then turned us bearish. We could have looked for some type of displacement entry down. And yeah, we didn't get that. And as I mentioned, the only reason why I put this long tool was because price was already moving out of this fair value gap. And I just wanted to see what the target would be and if it reached it. And it did. So that's where price was, or where it is. We also see it went half a deviation above. Okay, let's get rid of this long tool. And also get rid of the Fibonacci. All right, Fauci. Thank you. Thanks very much, man. I appreciate your attendance. I appreciate all the energy you bring to the room. Thanks for joining. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, everyone. Unless there are more questions, we're going to end the stream today, and we'll catch everyone tomorrow morning at 9:15. Yep. Yeah. So there was no entry. Let me see where Mark said he got in at. Hmm. All right. So if we go back to when these were here, I think this is what Mark was talking about. I think he looked at one of these and he took an entry and he took it down. So I think he got 10, 15, 20 points, bringing price down. And that was what he took. So I think that's what happened there when he said that the move was down. Right. But this is all hindsight here. The move actually was bullish there. As we monitor price, we saw it come up and we didn't see it break. Then we started it started to come back down again. So based on what we had seen, the up and down choppy movement, there wasn't a lot of confidence in this fair value gap holding up because every other price leg here didn't hold. So the entry would have been at 347 and the exit to profit would have been at 359. So about 12 minutes. And so now before the macro finishes at 410, we want to see if it breaks these lows. But unfortunately with prop firms, all trades need to be closed by 410. So even if there was an entry, there's no time to trade. So everyone with their own money can trade, but prop firms, pretty much the day is over. Yep. Yes, it is, D. Anderson. You see, it's pretty much the same group of people every day, so it's great to see. Look at Bob, crushing it. All right, everyone. So that's going to do it for today. And again, thanks for joining. Thanks for supporting me. Hit the like button on your way out. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. And I'll see you tomorrow morning, 9:15. Take care, all.